You know, we fishermen are creatures of habit. We get to doing the same things over and over again in a pattern. One of the big mistakes we often make is driving past and across rivers to get to our local reservoir or lake. On this week's show, we're going to talk about some of the great bass fishing that's available in river systems across the South and Southwest. I'm glad you're along with us. The next half hour should be a lot of fun because this is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Wow, what a beautiful scene out there. It's been a long time, many years, since I've been to this particular stretch of the Brazos River system. The Brazos River runs all the way from the headwaters almost to the panhandle of the Lone Star State, runs across Texas all the way until it dumps into the Gulf of Mexico. This particular stretch runs right through the middle of Waco, Texas. My understanding is there's a lot of good fishing right here in the city. So we're going to test that out on today's show, but more importantly, we're going to talk about some of the great things that are happening on river systems all across the southeast and southwestern United States. So we're going to go out and test this system here, see if we can catch a few bass, talk about where you can go and catch some in your local area. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your very latest fishing reports from our team of insider reporters. Check on the fishing at your local lakes, rivers, and bays. So right now, we're going to put the Bass Tracker Pro Team 175 into the Brazos River here in Waco. While we get ready, let's take you back to the FSN studios for your weekend planner.
Hi everyone, the Salooner tables are pointing towards Sunday as the best opportunity for fishing this weekend, with the peak game fish activity beginning at 11:40 a.m. Look for the sun to rise at 7:38 and set at 6:44. And we're approaching a new moon next week, so evenings will feature a moon that is 89% visible. Stay with us, we'll be right back with freshwater and coastal fishing updates from around the region. Plus, Mr. Crappie Wally Marshall joins us for this week's Ask the Pro feature.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
There's a little cut bank with a shadow on it right there. Got it. Got it. Come here, baby. There we go. All right. That's fun. Man, throw that little chugger back in there and you throw it right next to the shoreline, and one nailed it. It is so fun to catch them on a blow up, even a little bass like that. Just a lot of fun to catch. All right, welcome back everybody. We're on the Brazos River right here at Baylor University in the background, literally fishing pretty much on campus. One of the things I want to talk to you about all river fishing is that it's pretty much what I call junk fishing. You're going to need to have a whole bunch of different baits tied on. Now, I'm started off here in the morning, so I'm throwing a topwater bait while the sun's at a low angle and I can get some shadows on the water, and that fish was laying right under that cut bank, right in a little shadow. But you can see behind me right here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more rods rigged up right here. I've got a crankbait, jigs, worms, spinner baits. You've got to have one of everything tied on and just go down here and hit every little target you can find, fan cast in between. You don't even need to be throwing at stuff, but it's classic junk fishing. I mean, there's not one set pattern. You're just going to be doing a whole lot of different things to try to put together some good fishing. All right, we're going to talk some more about that, but right now we're going to get you all cranked up with some local fishing reports from one of our insider reporters.
Hey folks, Captain D here with your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by Marshall's Marine, located in Lake City and Georgetown, South Carolina. We're your bass boat leader since 1969. For all your nitro and bass tracker needs, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. Finally, the floodwaters from a couple weeks ago are starting to recede. Our good friends over on the Black River, the PD River, are starting to get back into their homes. We want to continue to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, as well as those affected in the Columbia, Lake Murray, and all of the area around there. Freshwater fishing is going to start to get incredibly into your fall patterns. We're starting to hear some great stripers schooling on top of the water down on the lower lake in the Santee Cooper Lake system. Running around looking for those birds are going to put you on top of some great striper action. Spook juniors and pencil poppers are a great way to target these fish. Get in there, find these schools, and go catch your fill of some great stripers on the Santee Cooper Lake system. Also, Lake Jocassee, they're starting to catch some nice trout up there. Fishing in that 30 to 40 foot depth, trolling live and artificial baits is a great way to get a nice brown or rainbow this time of the year. The catfish, again, are in that fall pattern. Our good buddy Andy Pack over at Pack's Landing said now that these storm waters are starting to recede a little bit, he's going to get back up there in those trees and in that flooded area and get in there and find some of the nice catfish that he can find this time of the year. Also, the crappies are on top of the brush piles. Get on your favorite brush pile in 15 to 20 foot of water and get ready to catch some great crappie this time of the year, whether you're up in North Carolina or down in South Carolina. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Got it. What a wild fish that is. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are river fishing today and having a great time doing it. We're on the Brazos River, right in the middle of Texas, right in the heart of central Texas. That one got a mouthful of rubber leg jig. It's got a biffle bug on the back of it. I'll show that to you a little bit later. And we'll show you two things. Thing number one, that's the I-35 bridge crossing the Brazos River right in Waco. And I want to show you something else. I'm going to swing the boat, and right here is the brand new McLane Stadium where the Baylor Bears play football. Now, you can catch a lot of fish right in metropolitan areas like this. You don't have to go driving 2, 3, 4 hours away passing all this good water. A lot of municipalities have done a great job cleaning up their river systems, making things a lot cleaner, a lot clearer, and there's really some good fishing here. You've got to be very versatile. You've got to, again, I've caught some on top waters today, spinner baits, that one hit a jig. You've got to have a bunch of rods ready and a lot of different ways to catch fish, but you can catch a bunch of them right in the heart of some of our cities. Baylor Bear country right here. Time now for some fishing and lake reports for you.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your fishing adventure in the true South, Mississippi. Well, fall fishing has really kicked off along the coast. This is a transitional time between late summer and fall, and the bait fish are moving, the water temperature is dropping, and anglers have got to stay on the move to find fish, particularly inshore. Offshore it's the same picture, but you've got to travel much farther areas to locate fish on the offshore waters. Inshore, anglers should be looking for bait fish, clear water, anything that's different and holding currents and fish that will hold around those currents to attack bait that's coming through. Clear water is really a key for spotted sea trout. Work an area, fish it with top water to bottom bumping jigs, even live bait. If there's nothing there in 15 or 20 minutes, stay moving. Redfish is much the same program, except that with reds, if there's no bait fish around, you can be working the shell bars, the mouths of creeks feeding into bays, and confluence areas where 2 or 3 bodies of water meet, either the intercoastal waterway, rivers, sounds, that sort of thing. Stay on the move, keep looking for redfish, flounder, and sea trout. Don't target just one species, take what you can get this time of year, and you'll find fish and have a good day on the water. And that's it for the coastal South. Get out on the water when you can and take a youngster with you when you go.
This week's Freshwater Fishing Report is brought to you by the Jekyll Island Club Hotel. Come enjoy a historic landmark experience amid Georgia's Golden Isles. First-rate accommodations, fine dining, and recreational activity in a historic setting. www.jekyllclub.com. Now, as we enter late October, we've dodged a bullet on early cold fronts, so the fishing action across Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi is excellent. This is particularly true of the crappie in southeast Alabama's Lake Eufaula. This 45,000 acre impoundment on the Chattahoochee River is giving up some slab-sized fish right now. You need a depth finder for this action, and you're looking for those brush piles that are along the old river and creek channels. You want to be targeting those in 15 to 30 feet of water this week. Good bets for hooking the fish are 1/16 to 1/8 ounce jigs tipped with a 2-inch curly tail grub. Chartreuse or pearl are the best colors for this. Granada Lake over in North Mississippi is the state's best white bass fishery, and those fish are biting right now. You want to find the shad schools, and the white bass are going to be nearby. A jig and grub or small crankbait is going to work well for these white bass. The hybrid bass action in Georgia this week is good, and that's particularly true on Carter's Lake in the northwest corner of the state or Allatoona Lake near Atlanta. Again, locate the shad and you'll find the fish nearby. Spoons, inline spinners, or jig and grub combos are what'll catch these hybrids.
Got him. Good one. Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. How about that? All right, there's a good quality bass for you right there. Yeah, we got it going. There's my little tattletale worm right there. Now here's something a little different. Look right here. That fish came out of that little patch of green stuff right there, and we are literally right outside the front gates of where the Baylor Bears play football. Hey, let's give you a couple of other places where you can do this exact same thing. Beginning in Louisiana, you have the Red River, and down south, the Calcasieu River. Moving a little further east of Mississippi, you've got the Pascagoula. Alabama, you've got the whole Coosa River system loaded with big spotted bass. Moving on over to Georgia, you've got the Savannah River. On up to Tennessee, you've got the Cumberland River. Smallmouth bass live in that place. Then you move on over to Arkansas, you've got the Lower White River, good largemouth and spotted bass fishing. And in Oklahoma, the Illinois. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to the Brazos River in Texas right after this.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Lew's, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
There's one. Got him. All right. You're on Fox Sports Outdoors, and we're on the Brazos River in Texas today, but we're talking about principles that will help you catch fish on any river. You know, when you fish in reservoirs and lakes, a lot of times it can get complicated, especially if the fish are deep. It can get very technical. You got to be really good at reading sonar. River fishing typically is much easier. It's just a real easy deal. What you want to do is have two basic types of baits out. You want a moving bait that you can cover water with, and a target bait that you can flip and pitch around the available cover. So what I've got is I've got one crankbait rod out, and I'm just going down the banks, throwing a crankbait. I've also got a spinner bait on here. And then I've got another rod here that's got a rubber leg jig on it. And it's got a trailer, plastic trailer, and then he ate my worm. But what I'm doing now is I'm just taking a little small tattletale worm, Texas rigging it. And the thing is, when you go down these banks, when there's nothing to throw at, no visible cover, you throw the crankbait or the spinner bait. But when you get to something like that, you see that overhanging bush, what you want to do is grab your worm or your jig, put an underhanded pitch or flip right in the available cover, and the fish will typically get right on the stuff that you can see with your eyes along the shoreline. It's just very easy fishing. Get on the shoreline, get on your trolling motor, troll along with those two types of baits, and you can be successful. Let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from your local area.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. You know, we are dealing with very prominent fall patterns right now. from north to south, east to west in this region, and it's very dependent on the weather as to how the fish are acting or reacting. But that being said, spent a couple days this week on Old Hickory and actually had a pretty tough time. Caught several fish, just didn't catch that many good ones. There's a lot of bait. They're all real shallow. The water was, let's say, roughly 70 degrees on average. A cool front, a sustained cool front would do a world of good for that fishery. The bass on Kentucky Lake right now are biting pretty well. A one-day tournament sack is still taking about 20 to 25 pounds, and it's predominantly a topwater thing. Shallow grass around offshore bars kind of seems to be the key spots where the bigger fish are coming from. The crappie have made a major move shallow in the last week or two. I caught several this past week fishing a piece of plastic on a jig under a float, and I was sitting in 5 to 6 feet of water next to deeper water. Just cast it out there and work it through stake beds. So it's getting better every day, and the cooler the weather gets, the better the fishing will get. So we'd love to see you on the water in Tennessee, Kentucky. God bless.
Here's the really cool thing about fishing rivers is that you're going to be fishing the most obvious stuff out there. The logs, stumps, laydowns, the stuff that you can actually see with your naked eyes, the stuff where the fish typically are. Right there, right there, right there. Got it, got it. There we go. All right. This Big Daddy. Eagle. Calm down. Calm down, feller. Got him. All right, how about that? Wow. Well, that's what happens. You fish on these rivers and you pitch up there shallow. I want to show you folks something. First of all, I want to show you that bass. That's just a good quality bass for you right there. Beautiful, long, skinny, native fish. That's not a Florida strain right there. That's just a pure Texas strain fish. Big mouth, long, skinny body. Just a fantastic fish for you right there. We're going to let that fish go back. And I want to make a major point to you about river fishing. I'm way back here in a very shallow spot. In fact, look here behind me. My trolling motor is kicking up mud. I'm so shallow. I'm no more than 2 feet of water back in here. And these fish will migrate back in this shallow water. That's just where they live. So we talked about how easy river fishing is, but it's shallow and it's shoreline, basically. You just go down the shoreline. This is a little pocket that comes off the shoreline. You fish everything in that little pocket, every little stick up, every stump, every bush, every reed, cattail, and it really doesn't matter what time of the year it is. They'll get shallow and stay shallow. It's just where they live. Remember that, whatever river system you fish on, they live shallower in rivers than they do in lakes or reservoirs.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro segment, where viewers get expert insights from professional anglers. This week's question comes from Kyler, who asks, when should I use multiple rods for crappie fishing? For the answer, we ask crappie expert Wally Marshall.
I like to use multiple rods pre-spawn or deep winter crappie fishing because I'm fishing 25 to 30 foot deep, and you can catch a lot of crappie because I use anywhere from 12 to 14 foot rods when I'm slow trolling and using double minnow rigs, or I'm using double jig rigs in those depths of water. And with those multiple rods, you can catch a lot of crappie and cover a lot of ground. But when that water starts warming up, I like to get that single jig pole in my hand because I live for the thump when I stick it up them bushes.
Thanks, Wally. If you have something to ask one of the pros, simply visit our website and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now, someone's going to win a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Hey, this week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Troy Whitaker of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, showing a 43-inch muskie. Get this, a muskie in the south, out of Green River Lake in Kentucky. Now, if you'd like to have a chance to be our next winner, what you have to do is go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the right-hand side of the homepage in the Costa Catch of the Week area and follow the instructions. And if you win, you'll win a free pair of Costa sunglasses. And you can see all of their frame and lens styles by going back to the front page of our website and clicking on the Costa logo. It's there you can see all of their great products, including the blue frame that I was wearing on this week's episode. This one is called Harpoon. This week on the Academy Right Stuff feature, it's the right gear to fish a river system near you. And to do this kind of junk fishing like we talked about, you need several different baits tied on. I've got a bunch of them laid out. You're looking at them there. Beginning on the top left, that's a topwater chugger, followed by a Gene LaRue three-legged frog, then a spinnerbait that's about a ½ ounce size, and then back to the lower left, that's a shallow diving square bill crankbait, then a little deeper diving crankbait. That one goes 8 or 10 feet deep, and then you've got a rubber leg jig with a Gene LaRue biffle bug trailing on the back of it. And then the other bait is a little Texas rig tattletale worm, little finesse bait in case those fish get a little finicky in the middle part of the day. One other thing that makes this junk fishing much easier is this brand new Lew's reel that I was trying out for the very first time. This is the Lew's Tournament Pro G reel. Remember that letter, G. It's got an 8.3 to 1 gear ratio, the one I was using today does, which allows you to reel that bait in quickly and get it back out quickly, get it back in that quick strike zone right next to the shoreline. You don't waste a lot of time. That's a high-speed reel. Two other great features of this reel: it's got a little hook keeper built into it. You can flip it either in or out, and it's got a line indicator on the side of it here that shows you what size line, what pound test line you have on that particular reel. Lew's leading the way in innovation. If I've learned one thing about the human condition, it's that life is not always fair. Tough times are not equal opportunity. I've seen lots of hardworking, good-hearted, responsible people who show up to work every day and try their best to support their families. Things just flat don't work out. Now, you and I can't solve world hunger and world poverty by ourselves, but what we can do is help with the little things that happen under our very noses. The only thing you have to do in order to impact some other folks' life for the better is that you don't have to be religious or wealthy or smart. You do just have to care. Hey, don't forget to join us for next week's episode. We'll be on at 6 p.m. on Thursday in our regular time slot, with the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always get the latest episode of our show 24/7 on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. And right below the latest episode, you can catch up on all the past episodes by clicking on the archive button. And just to the right of that is the how-to button, where you can get lots of product and how-to videos that we don't have time to show you here on the television show. Also, don't forget to like us on our Facebook page and click the follow button on our Twitter feed to get lots of fishing photos and videos, fishing news that you'll never see here on the TV show because we just don't have time. Hey, have fun on a river system near you. Use some of these techniques to go catch some this coming weekend. From the Brazos River in Central Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.